one. This is the Sourceseeker Hour. I am your host, Baruti Carl Alexander. This is our 99th episode of the Sourceseeker Hour, and I'm very glad to bring you a very important subject, especially in this day and age of health and so many things happening. It's very important to take care of ourselves so that we can be here for our loved ones, so that we can be here to give to humanity and to do whatever the purpose or the goals that we have to be able to bring to the world. And I would like to introduce my guest, Sharon Berry, my guest, Vincent L. Gulley. Did I pronounce that right, brother?
You sure did, sir. Thank you.
Okay. And we're going to talk about how to develop a mindset of diet and fitness. And I've been talking about, along with that, mind, body, and spirit. I call it the radical triple health that we would like to attain. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, Brother Vince, to really get to that level where you're taking care of yourself, you have to have your mind, your spirit, and everything involved. Go ahead and share about that and share who you are.
Okay, thank you. My name is Vincent L. Gulley. I'm 57 years young. I'm from the city of Hope, Arkansas, a smaller town, shall I say, of Hope, Arkansas. And I currently live in Dallas, Texas. And I'm an ultra marathoner. I just embarked on this journey of being an ultra marathoner a year ago. Up until a year ago, I didn't know what an ultra marathoner was. I knew what a marathoner was, but not an ultra marathoner. A marathon, if anybody, in case you don't know, is a person who runs 26.2 miles. That is a marathoner. An ultra marathon is someone who runs beyond 26.2 miles. And that's what I've done. And that's what I do. Now, how did I get to running 26.2 miles and beyond? I started on this journey last year, October. And my goal initially was to run a half marathon. And as I started training for this half marathon, I had to get a mindset to want to push through some physical barriers and mental barriers that will present itself. So as I started training for this half marathon, a new life, this switch went off to where I said, man, you know what? I want to run a marathon. And then after that, I was introduced to possibly being able to run beyond that. And so my first ultra marathon race was a 50K, which is 31 miles. At this point in time, to this date, the furthest I've run so far is 55 miles. I have a drive and a why. My drive and why is that on January 1st of 22, this upcoming January on New Year's Day, I'll be running 74 miles in my hometown of Hope, Arkansas. And that 74 miles is to honor my grandmother, who at the age of 74, her life was taken in the most horrific way in her living room. So for many years, which had happened on New Year's Day, 95, from 95 up until just recently, I allowed that event, that horrible event, to really take control of my life. And my way of gaining my life back is through living a healthy, fit lifestyle. And that's my hashtag now. Feasting on fitness for life. And it's gone from just a physical thing to a mental thing, a spiritual thing, an emotional thing, because for me, it's about the total sum of the being, the total sum of me. It's not just the physical aspect of living a healthy, fit lifestyle. It's about every aspect of my life, the total being, the spiritual, the emotional, the financial, the mental, whatever lead you can put on it. That's what it's about for me. And has it been challenging? most definitely has been challenging. But what I have developed is a mindset now to push through any obstacle that presents itself to me. And you have to have that mindset to push through, because there's times when you don't want to do it. Yesterday here in Dallas, Texas, it was 46 degrees. It was misty and rainy, and I went out there and ran 10 miles in the rain. Last year, well, this year of February, when we had all the ice and stuff to come down in Dallas, we was frozen for a while. I was out there running 18 miles running, and the sweat was freezing on my eyebrow, and I got pictures of icicles on my face. That's just how bad I want this thing. That's how bad I value my life now. How bad I value my health. I call it investing in my health. When I was younger, you couldn't beat me going to the club. It didn't make no difference how the weather was. If a party was on, Vincent was on the scene. I was there, getting my party on, getting my drink on. And to me, I was living my best life. I was partying. And so I used that same enthusiasm, the same energy, but now I've redirected it for me to a more positive way, to where now it's about living a more quality life. I want to live a long life, but I most definitely want to live a quality life. So at the age of 57, I don't have those aches and pains that people speak of having. I don't know what that feels like. I don't know what, when I was younger, I seen people in their 50s, they look old. They were moving like they're old. Well, me, I have grandkids that's 6 years old. I'm out there running around playing freeze tag with them. You know, I have the energy to do things that had not I been living this lifestyle, that I possibly would not be doing with the vigor and the energy that I have. So it is a mindset, and it's a mindset to do it even when you don't feel like doing it, even when other people are probably saying, "Man, it don't take all of that." But for me, it takes all of that and more, because see, I'm hungry. I got a drive, I got a desire, I got a why. And nothing is more important than my total health, so that I can be here for my family. To say you love someone but not take care of you, then that's not really for me. I like to make I statements. For me, that's not true love. True love is saying, I love me enough to take care of me so I can take care of you.
Let me ask this question.
Yes.
I like to ask this question. I want you to think about it while I introduce my other guests. The question I want to ask is, did it take a trauma event to get you to this mindset? Let me go ahead and introduce Sharon. Sharon, please share who you are and talk about some of what Vince talked about, the mindset. There was a certain level where we were just talking that, okay, you said, I'm gonna go ahead and try this new thing. Share that.
All right. Well, hello again, everyone. My name is Sharon Berry, and I'm from right now hail from East Texas. I'm originally from Louisiana, Southern University grad. And I was listening to you. I'm also the chairman of the Houston County Democratic Party, and currently, until December, the vice chair of the Texas Coalition of Black Democrats. I was listening to you, Vincent, when you say you had to have the mindset to push through. You first have to have the mindset to want to do it. And I remember when you said you were running in the snow. When I was, you said you're 57 years young, I'm 63 years young. And I make certain I do 2.5 miles every day, a minimum of 6,000 steps. Yesterday, I did 13,498. I, of course, have two German Shepherds that make certain, and I don't have the luxury of having tracks and stuff, so we just get out there and we walk. But I do agree with you. It didn't take a tragedy. Mine was because I was in the military. We just had to push through. And I remember my platoon sergeant told me once, I was out I think we were in Fort Riley, Kansas, and it was so cold. It was so cold. And he said to me, now you think about what your soldiers go through. And it was a matter to, at that point in time, you have to register. I can't go and sit in a tent or in a vehicle because they don't have the luxury. So, you know, the cold just became a condition that you knew you could push through. Like you, I've run in the snow, I've run in the ice. Um, I've, I've just, I mean, you said you had the frost on your face and things. I've seen, it was so cold in Korea that, you know, it was just another day. I lived in Europe, and when it was snowing and cold and raining, it was another day to them. They had, and I truly believe that the elements don't, because, you know, we get up and we go to work Monday through Friday, doesn't matter what it is. Saturday, Sunday, if it's raining, we'll say, oh, I'm not going to do this. Or if it's cold, I'm going to stay in. That's how I see exercising. I have parkers, I have gloves, I have cold weather gear. So I still get out there and I do my training. And I had my physical yesterday. And I remember my doctor told me, well, years ago, he said, Sharon, you have the heart rate of a 26-year-old. Well, that has always resonated with me, and I try. I mean, I try. I did to the point where I can do, I've not run any marathons, but I was training to do the Marine Corps 10K. And I had gotten up to 6 miles a day because I was doing it with a girlfriend and she became ill. So that's my goal. I will run or do whatever. And I try to do up to 6 miles one day a week. And I just do it because one, it makes me feel good. I might have an attitude before, but it does make me feel good. And I'll tell you one of the best trainings I ever did, and it was a mindset. When Michelle Obama was our first lady, everybody always complimented her on her arms. And I said, you know what? I'm going to get those arms. Well, I did that P90. And ladies and gentlemen, that is no joke. Every day at 10 o'clock, I put that disc in and I did P90. We're on, I think, the 100th day. I was ill and it wasn't related to me exercising. It was a fluke. What happened to me, the doctor said 1 in 500,000 people get that. And I mean, I came through it with flying colors. But I remember that was probably the toughest challenge I had ever undergone, to include my 20 years in the military. So it is a mindset. It is something you just really have to, and you want to do it. And that's what I did. And right now, you know, my daily challenge is whatever's on Facebook. Last month, it was 50 crunches a day for cancer. Now we do 25 push-ups every day for cancer for the month of November. And time before that was squats. So I do that challenge in my walk, and I do agree. I just think it makes you feel good. So whatever your motivation is, I'm all for it. But it doesn't matter if you're doing it for family. If what you do will benefit a family member, you have first got to want to do it for yourself.
I agree, but speaking as a layperson, speaking maybe as a, I don't want to say a lazy person. I don't want to say you know, Vince, I went to the club too. I hung out, I partied, I did all those things. But, you know, there's so many things, so many doubts, so many excuses, so many reasons why not that come into your mind. So many things that go on. I want to bring Brother Husani in. Are you there, brother? Brother Husani?
Yeah.
We can barely see you, but we can hear you, brother. We're talking about, Brother Vince talked about, he does the ultra marathon. My sister Sharon talked about, she does like military miles and so forth. I'm telling you, I haven't done, now I go to the park, but The main thing is I can't be consistent. I've gotten up to 209 pounds and I'm 5'6", Brother Vince. I got to find some kind of way to get past this, to get some consistency. And Brother Sani, tell me about your regiment, what you try to do. Are you there, Brother Sani? Well, I'm gonna go on and talk about me a little bit. You know,
Can you hear me?
hello?
Yes.
You there, brother?
Okay, perfect. Yes, you can hear me.
Okay, well, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do as far as your regiment of pushing forward with the mindset of taking care. I'm sure sometimes you just want to chill and sit home and drink a few beers and say, man, I don't feel like going out there. What you do to get past that?
Something like that, but not quite. All right, so you know, each individual is different, right? You say sometimes you lack in motivation. Now, myself personally, I'm a martial artist, and martial arts is an everyday practice. If you, the mindset is of a person or a being who's consistently trying to get better, consistently working and perfecting themselves, you know. So it's you know, you can get lazy with it, but it only tells about you as the martial artist. So I choose not to be lazy. And plus, I'm the co-manager of Say Hi Youth and Fitness Center, and like we're always so active. So I'm there daily. You know, we do workouts daily. We train in the martial arts 3 days a week, and that's how I stay consistent. You know, and I want to kind of speak on that long run that was mentioned. Anything above 3 miles, 5 miles, it takes you to such a good place. You know, so we have reasons, right? We have reasons not to, but the reasons to do it, they're so, you know, that they outweigh the reason why not to do it. And that's kind of my clarity that I received by doing it.
I hear you with that. I hear you with that. But from what I hear, so many of us say, hey, I'm going to get in shape, I'm going to lose weight. And a small percentage of that group that's saying that actually go to that level. If it was easy, everybody would do it. If it was easy, everybody would do it. Brother Vince, I asked you a question. Did the trauma, because you said you was out there drinking and smoking and having a good time. So did the trauma change the mindset, or it was a natural thing that came along and you just woke up and had an epiphany and said, hey, I'm finna do this? Unmute yourself, brother. Unmute yourself.
I don't know how.
Turn it up then, your volume.
I don't know how to unmute.
Can't hear you, Brother Vince.
I don't know how to unmute myself.
Very faint.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Okay, well, we'll go back to Brother Vince. I mean, everybody, if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Okay.
I mean, but you there, Brother Vince?
Yes, I'm here. Can you?
Okay, you still need to be a little louder.
Turn it up.
Turn it up. How about this? Can you hear me now?
Very faint.
Come a little closer.
I'm close.
Okay, it's still
Something
not
must
loud
be in
like
front
it
of
was
your
before.
mic.
Nothing is in front of my mic.
Well, I just want to share that.
Brother Alexander, I think one of the things while we wait on Vincent is get you a partner.
I've tried that. You know, but my schedule could be funny. Go ahead, Vince. Try it out.
Okay, all right. Can we hear me now? Okay. Okay. For me,
I asked you that question about, did the trauma take you to that next level?
No, actually, the trauma didn't take me to the next level. The trauma put me in a place, in a space that wasn't good for me. What took me to the next level, honestly, was my only brother. He passed away of congestive heart failure at the age of 55 in 2018. And when I looked at my mother and saw her burying her firstborn child, I told her she won't bury me. I'm going to bury her. That's the natural order of things. And at that moment, I started changing things about my lifestyle. And I started hiking, kind of like Sharon. I don't run the streets. I run trails. I like being on the trails because it's easier on my body, on my joints. So I'm a trail runner. So I started hiking the trails, and I just started running. I had a friend who was training for a half marathon. I said, "Well, shoot, let me try that." And because I had been running 5Ks, so and progressively I started picking up wanting to. After I started training for the half marathon and realized a human being out here running 100 miles. My mentor, which is a woman, run 100 miles, and to know that I was able to touch a person, I can talk to a person who runs such a distance. I said, wait a minute, if it's humanly possible for you, it must be humanly possible for me. So I started doing what was necessary. I have those moments and days when mentally it's like, man, I want to talk myself out of a workout, but it never fails. When I do work out, I'm always happy and thankful that I did. So that the experience of losing my grandmother was an added motivation, because I then said, I want to honor my grandmother. I want to let the people know who took her life that you may have taken the body, but you did not take the love, the memories, the seed that she placed in me to be the best person I can be. That's the vehicle I use. That's the drive that I use to take myself to be the very best version of myself I can be. So my thing, the trauma was something that took me to a dark place. But because I experienced that and was able to live through it, I have the mentality of a lion. We know the lion is not the biggest, not the baddest, not the strongest, but the lion is considered the king of the jungle. It's because of the lion mentality. So for me, to go the distance that I'm going and that I will continue to go, I have to have a mentality of I'm willing to go to a place that very few people are willing to go. I'm willing to put my body through changes and conditions that very few people are willing to. Just 3 weeks ago, I ran a 50K in Oklahoma, which is 31 miles. And I experienced some stuff in those 10 hours of running that I've never experienced before. I too was in the Marine Corps. And I went through some stuff in the Marine Corps, but what I'm going through now, the Marine Corps does not compare as from a physical aspect. Mentally, it's just you callous your mind over. You get mentally strong to be able to endure and to push through and persevere when at any other time I would have given up, because it's easy to give up. It's easy to stay home and click on the remote control. It's easy to stay in that lazy boy in that recliner. But when you look at the benefits of living a healthy, fit lifestyle, I cannot take it. There's no shortcuts to it. You just have to do it. And that's what I've done with my life. And I share it with other people, as you know, Mr. Alexander. I share it with everybody I possibly can, not to brag or boast, but to let them know that it's possible for you as it is for me. You have to have a made up mind, a willing heart, and just do it.
I got you. I agree. I mean, if you could just get that, first of all, so many things happen, y'all. You know that. Y'all know that. so many things happen. You know, you got kids and they going through something, they call you and you was finna go work out, but they call you, you got to go deal with that. Then your job gives you stress. Then, you know, this person over here bothers you and takes you away from that. Sharon, what you say about that? How do you get past all that?
For me, and I wish I was as deep as Mr. Gulley. A lot of mine is just vanity. I have a wardrobe that I say it's just no way I'm going to replace it and buy new clothes. So I know how much I need. I'm not going to get past this poundage, and I'm not going to be unhealthy. My 3 years ago, my son was shot 3 times, and that tragedy. I saw that I had to keep it together for my family. I had to be that glue. Internally, I was depressed. I was everything, but outside, I could not show my family that this too will pass. So I had to be that glue. And I got through it by running and walking. There's a young lady that lives down the street from me. Sharon may be 40. When I moved to East Texas, I would be in my car. We live about 21 miles from Walmart. She would come on that dirt road, get on there, and she ran to Walmart every day and back. And I said, what is she doing? And my husband said, she runs marathons. And she had sponsors and everything. Well, she wasn't running. She was doing it because she just wanted to be healthy. When she became a grandma, and she stopped running quite as far, I would see her. She would have that baby, and she would walk. And I stopped at her house one day, and I said, "Look, I want to get back to running. I don't want to do 10, 11 miles, but I need to get some." And for me, she's like, for me, and I was saying you need a partner. She's like a pace setter for me. As long as I have somebody to set the pace, I can be there. Because it's the first 2 miles for me that are really, really hard. Then it's like you get your breath, you get in that groove, and you can go. And I say, so for me, once a week, I go beyond my comfort zone. And I like it. Like Mr. Hussain say, I really like it. It makes you feel good. You're tired, but at the end of it, you go, wow, I'm so glad I did that. I hope, me being as young as I am, that it's a motivation, it's an inspiration for other people. I have one of my good friends is in South Carolina. She's a radiologist, and she's put on weight, and she called me and I said, look, okay, let's do this every day at 10 o'clock, unless you have to go and do something, it's an emergency, we're gonna stop and we're gonna do A, B, C every day. Now I have that with my oldest daughter. We did the squat challenge where we got up to doing 58, 60 a day, and we would not go to bed. We checked each other. It could be 11 o'clock. She said, oh, I forgot. And she would get out and do her squats. You have to have someone like that to keep you on point, somebody that you respect, you trust, that you don't want to let down, to include yourself, and to help you. You're not going to start with 55, 60. Let's start with 5 today, increase it every, 5 for the next 3 days. Or you can download one of these challenges off of Facebook, Pinterest, or whatever. And I did it for me. When I went from having my own gym, having a track, and I didn't have any of that. I just got in the room, I made my little space, and I did it for me. I put the little paper on the wall, and it was for me. And as I said in the beginning, you've got to have that mindset where you want to do good. And I have one granddaughter, and I want to be around to see her graduate, to see her get married. And, my first grade teacher died of cholesterol around the heart. That's when that set in. My mother was obese, and she was in a state of depression. I had two brothers. Both of them passed within 2 years of each other, and she was totally depressed. She stopped walking. She stopped doing any and everything. And so I just said, I'm not going to get to that point. And I can motivate myself. And I know some people have they don't have that ability, but at some point you've got to find something that you want to be involved in, be around for, that makes you happy. And I'm trying to get past that vanity thing, but right now I refuse to buy more clothes.
That's a good reason.
Well, keep the vanity. That's okay. That's okay. Let me ask Brother Husani. Brother Husani, do you come across these, as I said, with the lazy point, but you've been a part of this Seha for most of your life. So it's something that you were connected with that helped you to do this. But what if you weren't? Husani, you hear me?
And then I want to know, does he have a lot of females in your class?
Females, we have a good mix. Yes, we do have a good mix. We have a lot of youth, and it's boy and girl. I'd say it's pretty balanced. Probably more girls, more younger girls around the age of 4, 5, 6. And we have middle-aged women. Several. I train several who come daily for the workout. So yeah, there's quite a few women who join too, but it's pretty balanced. It's a good balance.
A diet being important? I want y'all to bring that in. Do you find diet being important?
So when it comes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So when it comes to diet, in relation to my experience, diet is everything. Like, okay, the mental clarity that you receive when you go and when you're active, when you're working out, or when you're giving oxygen to your body, that places that normally don't receive the fresh oxygen that you receive when you go out and say you breathe outside. You can get it from walking or jogging. Anyway, the oxygen you get, we don't receive it always, but food will allow the minerals and oxygen and everything to reach certain parts, but it's certain types of foods that allow it. If you're eating inorganic foods, you won't receive the benefit.
Give me an example
clarity.
of inorganic food.
A burger from McDonald's versus greens grown from your own garden. Water out of the tap versus water from a spring. The quality of your food is everything. Like, even if you miss your workout, if you eat clean, you can still gain some of the same benefit. Now, nothing beats muscle over body fat. So if a person just sits there and only eats clean, their muscle won't develop. So it's harder to keep your joints intact. It's harder to not feel the pains of everything else that comes without muscle. And it's important to keep that. And you'll experience it. And if you haven't experienced it, and I'm not speaking to you directly, I'm speaking to everyone in general. As
you can, brother. I'm 209 now.
It hurts to be inactive. It really does. It hurts, and it starts to hurt more and more. It hurts your finances. It hurts your life experience.
And let me say this.
Hurt physically.
Mm-hmm. Let me say this. If I'm correct, you're getting close to 40. Is that correct? Getting close to it?
35 this year, yes.
Okay, all right. Excuse me, brother, but I'm making a point. All of us are older. All of us are older. Do you think you will be able to maintain the same type of mindset as you get older? Do you think you'll be able to do that?
Most definitely. Look, it's a survivor's It's a survivor's mindset. Some people,
Okay.
some people ready to just, give it in. Whatever happens, happens. But others are not so easy. It's a survivor's mindset. So once you develop that mindset, you'll be good. You can adapt. If you don't make it to the gym, you do it right where you stand. If you can't do it where you stand, you can go out in the backyard. You can go out to the trail. You can go out. You're adjustable, but you still have the mindset of survival and
You
health.
got to do it one way or another. You got to do it one way or another. I understand. Brother Vince, what you say about diet and mixing that into what you are trying to do?
Well, for me, diet is very important. As my brother just mentioned, I juice every day. I juice, I drink, I juice celery, apples, cucumbers, carrots, also beets. That's my lifeline. I juice, and I don't have a comfort zone. I want to mention that as well. I don't have a comfort zone. Comfort zone will keep you where you don't want to be. So I call it my struggle.
What are you talking about, comfort zone? Explain that, please.
Okay, comfort zone meaning that when I work out, whatever I choose to do and living this healthy, fit lifestyle is not a lifestyle to be comfortable. I don't mind the pain that comes with it. I don't mind the challenges.
Okay, I got you.
Because with that comes growth. With that comes growth. But yeah, diet, and I don't call it, for me, I don't like using the word dieting because people think when you say dieting, oh, I'm gonna lose weight. It's not about that for me. I eat to live. I don't eat to feed my appetite. I eat to feed my blood cells. Because if my blood cells are healthy, then I'm healthy. If my blood cells are not healthy, then I'm going to run into some severe trouble down the road real soon. So I eat the things that's going to nourish my immune system. I take my black seed oil, I take my sea moss, I take my elderberry syrup, I take my vitamins. And at the age of 57, Mr. Alexandra, I'm not having any issues with anything. I go to the doctor twice a year to get my blood work checked. And I do it because as a veteran, I can go to the doctor at no cost because I paid my duty. I put my time in for it. So I'm going to utilize my, I guess you say, my right to go to the doctor and make sure. My thing is being preventive, doing those things so that I don't have to worry about being reacting to causes and issues and illness. So if there's something wrong with me, I'd rather find out early on in life to where I can change it if possible. But it's not being comfortable. And when you're comfortable, yes, sir. Go ahead.
I just want to ask this. Okay, see, I go to work and got to be there at 7:30. Now I get off at 3:30. I could probably see where I could put some time in to get things done. But I even think you're talking about, hey, you got a break at lunchtime, go do a little bit then. Or as soon as you get off, talk about that.
For me, I work 10 hours a day.
Okay.
Yesterday I got off of work at 5:30. I came home and changed my clothes and I hit the street. It started getting dark on me, but I ran in my neighborhood. I ran 10 miles. I don't make excuses. And the reason why I don't is because I didn't make excuses when I was out there in the streets doing all that crazy stuff.
That's right.
That brought me nothing. It didn't bring me no good to my life. So now, because I want to live, kind of like Sharon said, because I want to live, but I want to live a certain way. I want to look a certain way. I do what is necessary. Malcolm X says, by any means necessary. I apply that to every aspect of my life. I'm too important.
That's
my
right.
health is too important to sit down on my rear end because I don't work 10 hours and say I did something. I have not done anything. Now, when I go to work, I went to work to make a financial deposit. Now I go work out to make a health deposit.
Yeah.
I need both of those in order to live.
And you know what? And we're talking about diet. I grew up in Louisiana on a farm. And I realized the difference between farm and ranch is horses. And we grew everything. I kid you not, everything we ate, we grew it. I went to the store for nothing. So let's fast forward. Here I am 30, 40, 50 years later, and my husband and I, we grow everything. We go to church at Sunday, somebody has a bushel of peas, potatoes, lettuce, everybody, and we just share everything. Um, our kids, we, killed a steer. So, and I remember when our kids come home, they could say, now this is truly, truly organic. And so I told my husband, I grew up like this and now here we are. When this ice storm hit us, I mean, we had a gas fireplace. We changed it to wood. Same thing with my daughter here because my granddaughter likes wood. So, we make sure we get 5 cords of wood for her in the city. We bring food and everything. We go fishing, with the wild hogs. I mean, I could share a picture with you all. You thought we were the Clampets. Everybody had a rifle and we killed like 26 wild boars. And so we just kind of give them to everybody in the community. I called some people from Houston and gave some bass fishing and all of that. And it is, and I can tell. Now, one of my weaknesses is I love a good cheeseburger. I don't deny myself anything. When I eat that cheeseburger, I said, okay, here's 800 something calories. I know if I get on my treadmill, I gotta walk a minimum of 500 calories in addition to what I've done just to burn that off. But that's what I do like once a quarter, once every 5 months. I like a Whataburger cheeseburger, or I'll do my own. But that's what I don't like. I don't deny myself anything, but I just tell myself, you can't eat like this. And once you are accustomed to like juicing and eating right, your body will tell you. You put all that processed food, you just become sluggish. I remember
That's the
when
truth.
I moved to East Texas, it was such a difference for me in the lifestyle, in the people. And I went to my physical, and my doctor says, he asked me all these questions, and I answered. He goes, Sharon, I think you're depressed. I said, you think I'm depressed? So of course, what's the physician going to do? Just give you all kind of medicines, and you take it without question. They say you take this. And I told my husband, I said, I'm taking all of this medication and it's just not right. I didn't feel right. And I could tell my fingernails were starting to split and shed. And I knew my body. And one day I just stopped. I take a vitamin E, D3, DHEA. I take a water pill, but I don't take medication because you don't need it. If you know your body, you know the diet that you should, even when you allow yourself to cheat, but you've got to move it. And I tell my children, your heart and your body is just like any other well-oiled machine. You've got to put good things in it. You got to maintain it. You got to do the work so it can take care of you. It's a give and take situation. I mean, with your vehicle, if you don't change the oil, if you don't make sure the tires are done, you know what? It's going to give out on you. You're going to get to a point where it's not going to be reliable. Just like a nice garden. If you don't get the weeds out and water it and do all those things, it's not going to yield the results that you need. Your body is the same way. It is designed to work when you put the right nutrition in it, when you get your heart rate up, because your heart, it's a muscle and it has to pump blood from head to toe. And if you're going to clog up the arteries and all of that stuff, then you know what? You're making it you're making it work twice as hard. And when it says, okay, and it will let you know when it's had enough.
Exactly.
Let me say this. I've had the best I think I've done was about a good 3 months of consistency, and then something to happen. And Vince, I'm sure you've had different things happen which make you think, but you are so dedicated and consistent, and you're so dedicated that even though those things happen on the outside, you say, I'm sure your sons or people come to you and say, let's do this, but you have to say, hey, I gotta work out. How do you always do that?
Well, because once again, nothing is more important than my health. I can't be here for
Simple as that. Okay. I said simple as that, and you maintain that focus.
It's just that simple. And,
okay.
And like I said, I'm hungry. I'm hungry for it. And that's just my need. I need it. It's the most important thing I got going.
I understand. Now, as I was sharing in the beginning, when I first met you, we were talking about something else. We weren't talking about that. But right now, you've expanded to a whole different level where that and what we're talking about is talking to the ladies and talking, being, kind of players and so forth. But what you're talking about now takes care of all that because you're taking care of yourself. And what you said, very important, is, hey, even at our age, I'm 59, you're 57, it's still important to look good. And so that was a powerful. If y'all haven't seen this post about health, check them out. They own A Brighter Source, A Brighter Light, and very important posts. And we highlight them and so forth. And very important, and I thank you for that. Brother Husani, I want to ask you, how do you, and I know people come in that you used to know, and different people come across and ask you to, hey, let's go do this. Hey, let's go drink a beer. Let's go smoke. Let's go do this. But how do you stay away from all of that? And I know you have a family also, and they want to take up your time. But are you so focused like Vince that you maintain that all along?
I like to think so. But yes, to answer your question, you set the environment. You set your own environment for it. Distractions come, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm not in the area of those distractions, they can't happen. Children, I have 3 children, and they're all very active. They have camp, they have school to go to, they have extracurriculars, then they have interests, and they have questions, tons of them. So there's always energy to give, you know what I'm saying, in all instances, but I find it pretty easy to still do what I need to, still get my workouts in, still train, still focus on myself, basically, as well as give it to everyone else. And when I mentioned setting your environment, I chose to get involved with the management of Sani Youth and Fitness, right? It was a choice to do it.
You went out for a second. I think you were saying, okay, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
I was saying I chose to be a part of Sani Youth and Fitness. It was a choice because it fits along with the lifestyle that I choose. You know what I'm saying? These things go hand in hand. So you just have to make certain choices. Like I have a garden in my backyard. I chose to grow my own food because I wanted to kind of dictate my health. I wanted to dictate how well I can feel, how energetic I can feel, the quality of foods that I put into my body. You choose to be around people who also work out. Like as was mentioned earlier, you just make healthy choices and create an environment for it. So it gets a lot easier. You know that it gets a lot easier for you to not make
to not get distracted.
not make an excuse. To not make an excuse. or
Yeah.
allow distractions to throw you off because you're more important. You understand more and more, you know, that you're more important. Your life, your health, that consideration that you have to give to yourself is more important. And
Mhm.
when you don't, you realize something's missing. You realize, you know, you're lacking something. It's a feeling you have when you don't do it.
But you
I
know, in
understand.
addition,
Go
in
ahead.
addition to that, I was thinking that's the physical side. One thing I do religiously, as soon as my feet hit the floor, I drink my first bottle of water. I'll say 2-3 hours later, I drink another bottle of water. I make sure I get a minimum of 6 bottles of water. Now, I like water. I don't drink sodas. No, let's see.
That's good for your
That's
health
a
right
start.
there, to not drink
Yes,
sodas and
that's
drink
right.
water. Yeah.
I was gonna say that's a start. That's something you can do. And I find that, like, see, people always say, what foundation do you wear? That's not makeup, that's me. And I attribute that to water. Keeping and helping. That's a start.
And see, that's a mindset right there, to drink water instead of drinking a soda or drinking other things. That's a mindset. And that's
Mhm.
what I'm talking about. I mean, to have that mindset, you got to really focus your mind to say, okay, even though I'm moving away from the taste, the sugar, and all of those things, I am gonna drink this and be refreshed. I understand mentally, I understand everything. It's a matter of doing it. So I tell you, Vincent, I tell you, Sister Sharon, I tell you, Sani, I am gonna start right now today. Now, I've done it before for periods of time, but I am gonna start today to make sure that I give it my best shot and do the best I can. This is the Sourceseeker Hour. This is our 99th episode. We're here with some powerful guests talking about developing a mindset for life, a mindset for life. And it's very important if we want to live, we want to be here for our loved ones, that we do develop a mindset of life and living and taking care of ourselves. And I want to be here, so I'm going to take good advice from everybody and put these powerful little steps together and try to do a much better job. And we're going to have another show, Brother Vincent, and we're going to see where we at, maybe 3 months from now, maybe 2 months from now.
Okay.
We're going to have another show, and we're going to see where we at. And we're coming to the close of our program. I'd like everybody to give a very long-winded statement, if you want to, about what you can do to develop your mindset to take care of yourself. Brother Sani, would you start us out?
Good thing. To develop that mindset.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
To develop that mindset that you need for survival and to keep your workout regimen going, you just have to first realize that you're important. You're more important than your urges, your temptations. And you have to be nice to yourself when you're first getting into it. You know, don't be afraid to fail. And when you fail, it's consider it a stepping stone. Consider it a first attempt, and consider it a first of many attempts. And just keep stepping every day. Keep stepping towards progression, not perfection, not anything. Just progress every day. Take a little bit at a time. And if you're at a better pace, pick up the pace for yourself. If you can push yourself better, push yourself better. Get around other people that push you, you know, and just keep going. Keep progressing, because nothing will be given to you in this life. Health won't be given. You have to go out and you have to earn it, if you will.
And I like how Brother Vince said, nothing is more sacred than what I'm doing and pushing my life forward. And we've heard that before, Brother
That's
Sani.
right.
Nothing is more sacred. So that's a powerful thing. Brother Sani, how can people reach you if they want to talk about this kind of stuff we're talking about?
sure. Facebook, you can follow me at Moyo Fitness Training, at Moyo Fitness Training, Moyo. And you can find me, my name is Sani, HU space SANI.
Thank you, brother. Peace and power. Thank you for
Thank you.
joining us on this 99th
Yes.
episode. Sister Sharon.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Wait,
I've really,
1 second. Husani, you had something else to say?
Hey, you're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yes, brother. Yes, brother. Peace and power.
Mhm.
Sister Sharon.
Sani and Vincent and you, Brother Alexander, getting your mindset together is phenomenal. And I want you all to take those same characteristics and move it over into the political arena and run for office. And remember, someone is always watching you. Right now, we have such a need in high school to have Black male role models, leadership, big brothers. There's such a disconnect between the younger generation and where we are. We are at a point in our lives where we can overcome obstacles and we have choices. Well, and we probably have had, you and I, Vincent, have been in the military. And so we were trained to be leaders and trained to overcome obstacles. Well, we have a lot of youth in high school and grade school that they don't have that option. And so when you see yourself as a leader and do the things that you gentlemen are doing, I think about throwing the ladder back. We need you out there. This political arena, you know, it is not for the faint and the weak. And first and foremost, you've got to have it up here and you've got to have it in your heart to do good, be good, and think about for others. I always say, you know, elect the best of us to represent all of us. And it does. It starts mental. In anything you do, you've got to mentally prepare yourself. And then the body will come along. But I have truly enjoyed this. And I told you earlier, I have one granddaughter and I do a lot of things for her because, you know, she's worth it. And just on a note, because we have a ranch, she used to want to be a veterinarian. And with all of this unrest in the political arena, she came to me and she says, you know, Nana, I'm going to be a constitutional lawyer. She's writing a bill on the critical race theory, and she's going to present it to the Capitol in mid-November. She's 14 years old, so it can be done. So thank you all. I appreciate it. And you know, and if you have any doubts as to what you think you might be good at, give me a call.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Yes,
thank you all. I appreciate
you
it.
want to share how, if somebody wants to talk to you?
Oh, yes. You can, the Texas Coalition of Black Democrats webpage, Houston County Democrats. My name, you know, Sharon Berry. You Google me, you will find it, 936-438-1234. Just call me. Even the Texas Democratic Party. As I said, I'm the county chair. We have 25 Black chairs in the state of Texas. We have 5 tax assessors Black in the entire state of Texas. And of those 25 Black county chairs, 18 are in East Texas. So we appreciate you all, appreciate what you do. If you guys want to come down there, because we definitely would love things like this. We think of, you know, trying to get things to do, anything to get the young people engaged, especially you, Mr. Husani. If we can get a shop where you can come out there once a month or once a week and do some classes, we would love it. So please contact me, 936-438-1234.
Boy, in East Texas, or you
Will
located?
do.
Look, I am Houston County, the first and oldest county in the state of Texas. Crockett, Texas is the seat of Houston. past Huntsville, come 33 miles, you're right in Houston County.
I pass that every time I went to Tyler to get my son. I have a 22-year-old son. So I understand what you're talking about helping to bridge the gap between ourselves and young people. And very important and very challenging also, I must say.
Yes.
It's very challenging because they have so many things coming at their mind and they get confused and fragmented and everything else. So we have our challenges before us. So whatever we could do, I agree. So I'll be in touch with you, Sister Sharon. Brother Vince, finish this on out and talk about the mindset that we all need to get, that radical mindset that we need to have.
Well, first and foremost, I am my brother, sister's keeper. That's my drive, to be a living example of what one can do when you've made your mind up, and then just simply just do it. Yes, there's going to be all kind of things that come up in life. It's going to come up regardless. But even with that, I have to push through because I am the most important being I have. And my creator gave me this body, this temple, and I only have one to live in. And so it's my job, my responsibility, and my duty to care for it to the best of my ability. And then I share that with others on Facebook, as you know, Miss Alexandra. This lifestyle is a lifestyle. It's not a fashion. It's not a New Year's resolution. It is who I truly am. And you can reach me on Facebook, Vincent L. Gulley. My number is 214-684-3273. I am possible because of the people before me made it possible. So I will pass the baton to the next generation so they too can believe that it's possible.
Peace and power, brother. And please start calling me Baruti.
Barut.
Baruti. Yes, brother.
Baruti.
And this has been a very powerful show. We're going to have more shows like this.
Yeah.
And we're going to come back and see whether I was able to get to a new plateau, a new plane. And we're going to check up on each other and we're going to bring in more information about this subject. Because if we could take, Brother Vince, you talked about something. If you could take care of your body, start there, it can help everything. It can help your mind, it can help your spirit, it can help your community. So I'm going to put emphasis on that. I promise. I'm going to put emphasis on it. I'm going to fight hard for it because I am important, Brother Vince.
Yes.
I'm important. I'm important, Brother Sani. I got a lot of things I got to do.
That's right.
I got a lot of things I got to do. And I got to do a better job of getting into that spirit. This is the Sourceseeker Hour. We're going to continue to do things like this. We're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep hustling. We're going to keep trying. And we're going to keep seeking the Sourceseeker Hour. Everybody, thank you all. Thank you all for sharing. We'll be out there. Keep looking, keep seeking, and keep trying. Our 99th episode. Everybody take care. We'll see you next Sourceseeker Hour.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right.